Donald, thank you for joining me.
Yes, sir. Glad to be
PCA
here.
2023.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Name of the store is the Cigar Room.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are in Madison, Alabama?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Been there going on 13 years.
Yeah. Your inception story is second to none. So your family was in the RV business. You ended up shutting that down. Your other part of your family business only takes up like half of your week,
Yes, sir.
your work week. You're kind of like missing the people interaction. I would assume you're an extrovert.
I am. Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yes. I love people.
I get my energy from other people as well.
Completely. Yes.
So you're sitting at home going, what the heck am I doing? But what I thought was interesting that you said is you didn't want to go up to the smoke shop because they had clicks.
Right.
And I'm going to circle back to that.
Okay.
But that was something that prevented you from going into the smoke shop. So that's super important for our retailers to know.
Okay.
That prevented you from going into a smoke shop.
Yes.
So then your wife tells you to go to Big Smoke?
Yes.
You go to Big Smoke by yourself?
Yes. Yes. I didn't have any cigar guys. So
what does that feel like? I mean, were you like, I don't want to go by myself?
Oh yeah, I fought it for a while. My wife knew that I was kind of in this lost state where I was, because I had lost that love of my life of being with other customers, working problems out, the good things and then the bad things and what have you, and working out an everyday customer base.
Right.
So she wanted me to get charged back up, what have you, get with people, because the family business we have is not, you don't communicate, or you communicate with people, but it's emails, it's not face to face. There's not anything. They want information, you give it to them, they move on. So I was missing that 26 years of being in the RV business to not having that. So my wife forced me to do this. And she's like, you will go. She said, you love cigars, go to this. And I didn't go to cigar shops. So I didn't have any cigar friends. I didn't have anybody I went to smoke with. I have my own office, so I could smoke in my office if I wanted to. So I would go to cigar shops, buy local, and go in, buy 5 or 6, 10 cigars, and just take them back to my office, and I'd smoke while I was working. So I smoked cigars. I've done that for about 30 years, but I just didn't go sit in cigar shops because I didn't feel that connection.
Right.
So,
but you went to the show. You started connecting with all these different guys and going out to dinner and getting names and your wife asked you like, how was it?
Yeah. I go by myself. I don't know anybody. We're at the Big Smoke. So I start going out with these guys that are there for the same reason. A lot of them had buddies. They all went together. Some, most everybody did, not me. So they brought me along. Like, hey, we're going to this restaurant. We're going to this little thing or whatever. We're going over this little club where they're smoking cigars. So we did all that. So I ended up coming back with all these phone numbers, all these names of people I didn't even know, from South Carolina, from North Dakota, Texas, all these places. And so when I came back, and again, I went purely for enjoyment to do what I enjoy so much. So I went, when I came back, I had all these names and all these people, these connections that I have just regular customers, not any shops or anything like that. And my wife asked me how I liked it, did I have a good time? And she knew being so much with people that I wasn't going with those folks like that. And when I came back, I said, I loved it. She goes, no, how much did you really like it? I said, I loved it. I said, I'm going to open a cigar shop. I had no clue of how to open a cigar shop, nothing at all. I was that guy that everybody talks about in our industry of like, oh, this guy smokes cigars. He's going to open a cigar shop. Oh, wow. Let's see how that happens.
Yeah, that's going to be bad.
Yeah, this is just going to be his clubhouse. And that was not my intentions. My intentions was to take what I seen at the Big Smoke and put it in a cigar shop. Not the glitz and the glamour and all the, just, it doesn't matter who you are, what you wear, what you smoke. You're here in my shop. You want to be taken care of, and you want to be with your same kind of peeps that's got the same mindset. So we're not running a clique and I've had a lot of people since then tell me that managers, and I don't know this for a fact, but maybe they're right. Managers and owners of cigar shops set the pace or set the atmosphere of your shop
from the top down.
Right. And so since I'm loving people, and that's what I told my wife. I said, I don't know that much about cigars because I was that same guy. I smoked 5 different brands, one size. So I wasn't
No
this
way.
I was not this walking knowledge of like blenders and this and read everything I
You
had.
just stuck to those 5 brands and those 5 different sizes.
5 brands, one size. Churchill. That's all I smoked. Churchill, but I had 5 different brands.
5 brands, one size.
Right.
Wow.
And didn't know anything about how to open a cigar shop. Didn't even know what a smoke eater was. I walked into because what I did is I took a month off because I could month off and went to everybody's cigar shop within about 100-mile radius.
You literally went out and went to, and how many did you go see? How many retail shops did you visit to just take in, write notes?
Probably about 10. And I
10.
would sit, yeah, and I would always, like I said, I came in and I would tell whoever was on duty, I was like, hey, I'm just sitting here, I'm gonna smoke a cigar, but I'm gonna open a cigar shop in Madison, Alabama, Huntsville. And I said, but I'm not trying to do anything, and I'm not. And he goes, and everybody, I didn't have one person tell me I couldn't.
I was going to ask that.
No.
Were all of them excited to have another cigar shop in the area?
Well, everything. I didn't do anything close. I did stuff like Nashville, Birmingham.
How far away is that?
About 100 miles. I went from anywhere from 100 to about 150. I did go to Atlanta one place,
Okay.
and of course that's further than that. But that's about as far as I went. And I just sat in the cigar. If it came up on the map, I went sitting. And so I would spend a day here, a day there. I'd come back home, a day here, a day there, come back home, and I would smoke their cigars and I wouldn't bombard them with questions a lot because again, being in retail and being with people, you kind of take in the surrounding that you're in. You don't necessarily have to ask a lot of questions, but when something comes up, instead of writing notes and trying to bother somebody that's trying to do business and going, well, how do you do this and how do you do that? I didn't do that. I just watched. And again, I smoked cigars for many, many, many years and knew a lot of the things I didn't know about the shop. So when I seen something and I just didn't know what it was or didn't understand it, I would bother the guys when he could and ask him a question, and I'd write it down. And I got all these ideas and this information. Michael Liedel from Littman Brothers in Nashville helped me with the product. So I didn't have the money to go direct with all the companies. So this guy he said, you need to talk to this guy. And this was Michael Liedel from Littman. I called Michael Liedel, and he helped me where I could buy 10 different brands, 10 different cigars. And I put a suggestion list on my counter. So I had 100 boxes of cigars when I opened up. And I had that suggestion list because I didn't, again, smoke 5 different brands.
Yeah, you're not the most expertise on how to diversify the humidor.
No. So I'd have this little notebook that I bought from Walmart over there, and and the guy would come in, and at that time I didn't even smoke Perdomo, and I had a guy that come in, and I had a buddy that had a Lot 23. He liked Lot 23 Connecticut Toro. And he goes, you're going to have that. I had no idea what Perdomo was. I wrote it down. I said, yes. He's a buddy of mine. Of course, I'm going to have it. I had 2 boxes of that one. Everything else, I had just a box to show. I had no overstock other than that 1 box of Perdomo. I had 2 boxes of those. So guy come in, see the box of Perdomo Lot 23, and he goes, hey, I like champagne. Do you carry that? I said, no. He goes, yeah, I didn't see it in there. He goes, I like champagne. I said, okay. What size you want? And he goes, well, you're not going to order a box for me. I'm like, he said, I don't want to buy a box. I said, no, you coming back to my shop? If you get my cigar, champagne. All right, what size you want? Epicure. All right, it'll be in next week. And I put it in. And what was something is I didn't think I was doing anything. I thought I was just doing what I was programmed to do in retail. You satisfy the customer that comes in the door.
Right.
And you got to have a little common sense because you know how that happens. And so the guy would come in, and it's like I reinvented the wheel. He walked in my humidor, didn't say anything to me other than hi. Walked into my humidor, walked back out like I bought him a car. He walks in and he goes, you brought that in? I said, yeah. I said, you said you was coming back to my shop. Sir, I'll be here. As long as you keep that box, I'll be here. I had 2 boxes, 3 boxes of that cigar always on hand. And that's how I built my business. So I just listened to the customers that walked in my shop, and I wanted this to be their cigar shop. I didn't get into it to see. I didn't want them to be my clubhouse or my where I can smoke cigars and I wasn't going to be bothered. It's just my shop for my customers when they come in. And I did not know. I had a feel because of my attitude, but I didn't know that wasn't out there. So the people came back because of, I listened to what they wanted. They wanted, you know, I want Rocky Patel, I want this, and again, 100 boxes of cigars, even back then, is not very many cigars,
Right.
and I built it to what I got today. So
That's amazing.